Hello, and welcome to Inconsequential Gaming. So today, I wanted to make a channel update, and I don't really know how appropriate that is, seeing as how my channel is still kind of small. But considering the traffic that I've been getting, I figured that maybe there were a few people that watched and enjoyed my content, even though they're not necessarily subscribed to my channel. So just in case that's a possibility, I wanted them and my few subscribers to understand what's going on, and maybe why I haven't posted any content as of late. So first of all, I didn't want to just record this over just a blank I guess still frame, so I'll have some gameplay of Terraria in the background. But this is just an example of the problems that I've been having with recording quality content, where a game as it's not very demanding. Like a game like Terraria is not very demanding, but as you can see, I have a lot of problems with frame jumps and lag, so I need to upgrade my software. The problem was that I really didn't have the money to do so, which is why some of my other content suffered in quality. But that's something that I plan to change in the near future. I've gotten help from some friends to try to post better quality content, and I guess if anyone's interested, I'm not really expecting anything, but I guess I'll if my content is interesting enough, if somebody wants to kind of see what I'm capable of, I'll add like some type of button where people can donate if they want. I'm not expecting much, but I figured I'd just put it up there just in case my content is being enjoyed more than I might think it is, but who knows. So I guess I'll get straight to the point. So what I wanted to do in the future was post some Dark Souls 3 content, and I really couldn't do that under the circumstances. And because I'm getting a PC upgrade and all of that, I'll be able to post more high quality content, for everyone. And I'm kind of excited about that because one of the problems with my channel that I don't really regret it, because I'm glad that I got it started, and it kind of pushed me to want to go ahead and just upgrade my stuff, which I probably needed to do for a while now. But I really do want to post Dark Souls content, so I've kind of did everything that I could to see that I can post it in a reasonable amount of time. Even though I'm gonna be behind the curve because of the early releases, I think that some people have gotten, which is beside the point. I just want to post unique content, and I can't do it in the current circumstance. So I'm getting a lot of help from friends. So yes, you can expect better quality content in the future. The next thing is some of the series that I started, I was kind of I was deciding whether I wanted to continue them in the format that I've been using, or if I wanted to go ahead and wait until I got an upgrade for my PC, so then I can give everyone better quality content. So like the lore video, like Truth in the Fire, and some of the Dark Souls 2 footage with the Dark Souls 3 discussions, stuff like that. I'm still kind of deciding what type of content I want to continue making, but I didn't really go that deep into it before getting an upgrade was even a reality for me. Like, I didn't think that this would be something that would happen so soon. So because I was lucky enough to have friends who were willing to help, I can do that now. So now I'm trying to consider what type of games that I want to show on the channel, which will obviously continue to be Vindictus, Dark Souls content, I was thinking about Terraria content, maybe some Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, or the Old Republic. I'm sorry. Uh, and I really was looking to playing some XCOM 2. I'm still not sure about that. I mean, I guess I'll get into that later, but this is more of a channel update and not necessarily a discussion about what I want to accomplish with the different types of games and stuff. Like, I'll obviously make videos for that later on. And what else? Yeah, I just wanted to try to post better content overall. So yeah, like I wasn't sure how appropriate a video like this was for my channel. Okay, so as far as the Dark Souls 3 content is concerned, I wasn't quite sure the format that I wanted to use. Now, obviously, for anyone who's been interested in my content, I guess concerning Dark Souls mostly, pretty much knows that I'm interested in stealth gameplay and espionage. And from the information that I have from observing the game's like mechanics and all that, I see that it's a little bit more stealth friendly, and I can do some really interesting things with a stealthy type character. The other thing was that even though a playstyle like that would be interesting for a certain audience, I wasn't sure if I wanted to play a typical thief or maybe an assassin, which might change things a little bit. So I didn't want to kind of lock myself into a this is what I'm going to do type of situation. I just wanted to kind of let the people that watch my channel or enjoy my content know that I do plan to make a very unique Let's Play. I'm not even sure if I'll be using a Let's Play format, because the way that I make videos is so different that I don't think that I would be interested in a blow by blow, or what that kind of means is like a step by step of showing people levels and stuff in Dark Souls 3, who more than likely can probably see that type of content on anyone else's channel, and focus more on gameplay mechanics, strategies, and I guess showcases. And they'll be very unique showcases, because even for the most part with the Dark Souls 2 content that I didn't really get a chance to post because I didn't have the means to do it. The showcasing that I wanted to do for that game still hasn't been done yet, as far as I know. So because Dark Souls 3 won't have the limitations that Dark Souls 2 has, I'll probably be able to do some of the stuff that I wanted to do in Dark Souls 2 a long time ago, but even better. So I guess this is a way to say that, yeah, if you're interested in that content, you won't be disappointed. If you enjoy the type of videos that I make, you won't be disappointed, because I'll have the better quality content with the help from my friends, and it'll also be Dark Souls 3. So I mean, I don't really see how I can go wrong there. Now, I guess since I got like most of the major stuff out of the way, I can kind of explain what I mean when I say different type of content than a Let's Play. Since I pretty much explained what it is that I want to do with the channel and why it is I haven't posted any content as of late. But with the Dark Souls 3 content, and I don't have proper names for the stuff that I do, I just kind of do it because I guess it comes natural. But what I wanted to do was kind of like packets. So usually when you have a Dark Souls game, there's very notable areas, or I would call like difficulty spikes in certain levels and areas. And I mean, I guess it's different for each type of build that you use, but for the most part, when I say like difficulty spikes, is these areas are noticeably difficult no matter what kind of character that you're using. So even if you can get past it with relative ease, it usually takes a little bit more effort than the normal, I guess, pacing of whatever level you're on. And it's noticeable, but you know, not by much, depending on who it is. What I'll likely do, and this is just an example because I guess it'll all come together like once I explain. So what I mean by packets is sort of like you'll probably see, you know, like my character approaching a rather sticky situation, I would say. I'm doing quotations in the air just in case you didn't know. And you'll see maybe a showcase of all of those enemies being dispatched in an almost rhythmic or dance-like sequence that can be repeated pretty much all of the time with relative ease as long as you have the proper equipment. And it's sort of like a showcase because it's kind of like really showing you what you're capable of with the game that you might not see anywhere else. You know, because I mean, I don't want to get into it because it'll probably sound like I'm critiquing how other people play Dark Souls games, but that's just an example. So, say for example, I go to a level and you have these really tough enemies who can't be killed in a simple way, or you'll have a spread of mobs and like one difficult boss. I'll be doing things like almost like a dance of dispatching the enemies and maybe doing something like watch me take no damage, or watch me cycle through the different weapons and do weapon arts at the perfect time and criticals at a perfect time, or kill all of the enemies with them not even seeing me at all, type of thing. You know, stuff like that. Like I don't even know if there's a good way to explain it, but you just have to see it, I guess. And so that's kind of what you can expect with the Dark Souls 3 content. Not specifically, because I'll more than likely be making different kinds of showcase videos, and I guess you would call it packet sequences. I'm doing the quotations again, but I was just trying to give a brief example because I haven't done it yet. I've been meaning to do it with Dark Souls 2, but I didn't have the equipment or the means to do it. So I'm kind of explaining to you like a thing that I haven't quite done yet, but I've been meaning to do for quite some time. Now, as far as the lore video goes, that's going to pretty much continue as normal. But because I'll have, you know, the better equipment, I can do a little bit more. I can be a little bit more creative, and you know how I do stuff. Like I can actually put up decent gameplay and like really like show what it is that I want to express when I'm telling like the story or I'm giving examples. So that's kind of like why I was kind of hesitant, because had the opportunity not presented itself, I probably would have just finished the series as is. I wouldn't have been happy with, you know, it, but I still feel like it's a story that needs to be told, especially considering the fact that Dark Souls 3 is coming out soon. So yeah, expect that to be, yeah, I do plan to complete that, but I won't get too much into it. It'll just be a much better version of what you've seen already, you know, if you enjoy that content. And I also mentioned Star Wars The Old Republic. That, as far as I remember, the last time I got my hands on that game, it was free to play. I'm not necessarily sure if I want to show gameplay of that particular game, even though it is, I guess, enjoyable. There's certain aspects of it that are really cool, but I don't know if it would make for a good watching experience. I don't even know how to say that. I mean, I'm sure it could work depending on the context. But what interests me about that game is kind of like the world building and the architecture and stuff. Like, I really believe that even if you're not a person who's necessarily a Star Wars fan, that needs to be shared with people who may or may not be interested in it. I was kind of thinking that maybe I could make that video in a way where it would interest a person even if they didn't necessarily care for Star Wars, because some of the architecture in there is amazing, and I really feel as though people should be able to kind of take a look at it, you know. Aside from it being a Star Wars game, sort of as if you're going to a museum or an ancient ruin, like in Rome, like to see the Colosseum or something, like, because some of those places are really, I mean, they're made really well, and that's one of the things I want to kind of focus on. And the game is so big, you know, that I can do that probably for a very long time. And I guess maybe throw some combat in there here and there, because some of the stuff in there is cool. But for the most part, that was probably going to be a showcase of like the worlds and I guess some of the more interesting characters, which I think would make for a unique experience. But my I guess my dilemma was, how do I share that with an audience who might not necessarily be all that interested in Star Wars? So, I mean, that's a personal problem, I guess, but I you know, since I got the major stuff out of the way, I figured anyone who's still listening, who might be kind of interested in my thought process might want to hear that. I don't know. Like, again, I don't even know how appropriate a channel update is for my very small channel. So this is me just, I don't know, talking, and maybe somebody would be interested in that. I don't know who watches and who doesn't, so there's that. Okay, so to wrap this up, pretty much, the last few games, well, I mentioned Vindictus. That's just gonna continue as normal. That's just a straightforward raid series that might branch off into other challenges, but it's sort of like a raid showcase. And for the most part, with the Inconsequential Vindictus series, me and my friend have just kind of been testing out some of the, I guess, upgrades or adjustments to certain characters, and seeing how well they work against some of the more tougher enemies. So that's going to continue as usual, and then we'll probably branch off into more interesting showcases after that. But for the most part, that's a really simple, straightforward series that doesn't need a whole lot of explaining, you know, too. We'll probably come up with some more interesting things, but it's probably going to continue as normal. But as far as XCOM 2 is concerned, I'm not really a big turn-based strategy game type person, but that game really got my attention. And what I wanted to do with that was mostly do challenge runs as well. And again, I'm interested in stealth and espionage, so I was going to try to do things where I basically clear out the entire map of enemies and stuff like that without being seen. I mean, the way the mechanics work, that's not necessarily possible per se, but there's ways around it. So for anybody who's kind of played a little bit of XCOM 2 or knows of the series, they probably know what I mean. And I didn't want to kind of get it, you know, into it a whole bunch, because if a person enjoys that type of content, they're gonna watch it regardless. But just to let people know, like, if I put XCOM 2 content on a channel, that's probably not going to be your typical Let's Play either. But at the same time, I'm not I wouldn't even be sure of why not, because the way that game works, it kind of separates things into packages anyway. So I'm not sure how much of a change it really needs to kind of get the point across. So I don't know. It's just something I'm considering. It's a really interesting looking game, and I want to wanted to kind of see what I could do with that. So yeah, that's another game that I've been thinking about putting up on the channel, which wasn't possible. It wouldn't have been possible before. But, you know, with the upgrades that are coming soon to my PC, I'll be able to do a whole bunch of stuff. So I figured, you know, it got my attention, so why not? So I guess that's pretty much it. Thanks for listening to me rant. I just wanted, you know, people to know that I didn't go anywhere. I'm just really thinking about how I want to start doing stuff, since, you know, my circumstances has changed. My circumstances changed a little bit. And again, if anyone's interested in trying to help the channel, you know, if you like this content, I'll put up, you know, some sort of button or a link or something where if you want to assist, you can. Again, I'm not expecting much of anything, and I don't even know how appropriate it is that this video exists on my very small channel. But this is a very new experience for me, so I don't know. Like, I have no idea about anything. Like, I'm still learning this stuff as I go. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.